Well, hello. In this episode, we're going to pull our two front brake calipers off and we're going to change the pads.
You're on the Coda Kuna channel.
My bike here is a 1994. So on this one, you'll see here, there's two cylinders here and here on this caliper. So I've got two this side and two the other side, which make it a 4-piston caliper. Now, the Vmax from 1985 to 1992 had single piston on either side, so 2-piston calipers. So let me show you on my 85. So here on my 1985, you'll see there's only one circle here. So there's one piston here and one on the other side, so it's a 2-piston caliper. Now, of course, if you've ridden a 1985, you'll know they go like crazy, but stopping is a little bit of a problem sometimes. So they improved the brake system, and that's why they've gone to 4-piston brake caliper. So on some of the upgrades you'll get on Vmaxes, you'll get 1, 2, 3 cylinders here. So you actually get a 6-cylinder brake caliper. So that'll really stop you. But of course, 4 cylinders is better than 2 cylinders. But on my 1994, we're going to be pulling apart a 4-cylinder brake caliper and changing our pads. So it's very easy. I've got a bolt here and I've got a bolt here. And this is just like a dust cover. Look, I pulled it off with my hand. Today I'm going to pull this off to really show you how to do it properly, okay? This is our brake caliper now off. Now when we have a look in here, there's this little shield here. That's mainly to stop your brake pads in here from rattling around when you're driving against your pads. They keep a little bit of pressure on them so they won't move, and also they keep rubbish out of it. So we've got to put that back in. Now the first thing you've got to do is pull these two pins out. They look like a bolt, but they're actually not threaded in. What they are is held in by little clips, one here and one here. So I'll see if I can get them easy. Turn them around a little bit. Can you see that? See the little clip pop up? I'll do the same on this side. There it is. See the little pin pop up? So we can take them out, pull those pins out, and our brake pads are going to come out. It's as easy as that. Watching? There's one of the pins. There's the other pin. Now these brake pins will just come out. Look. There's one. There's two. Now those pins are exactly the same, so don't worry. Now that cover just comes off. Now notice that it's got an arrow there. In this case we're actually pointing up, so when we put it back together we'll put it on the same way with that arrow pointing back up. And look, out come your pads. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. Look at the state of them. Oh, they're filthy, filthy dirty. Look at that, soaked in grease and oil from when that bearing on the front cracked up. Look at that, that's disgusting. So dangerous. Someone was driving this around with slippery brakes like that. That is just crazy. Oh. So now, let's have a look inside. So you'll see the two cylinders, 1, 2 that side, and on this side in here, see the two cylinders here and here and here and here. That makes our 4 cylinders. So we're going to clean this up a little bit just some brake cleaner, get them beautiful and clean, and then we'll put it all back together. Okay, so I've cleaned it up. Now, when you put new brake pads in, you have to push these cylinders back in to make sure you've got enough space to put your new brake pads in, because the new brake pad will be thicker here. So these cylinders have now come out to adjust for the wear in these pads. So we need to push these back. Now, on a single cylinder, like my 1985, you can push one cylinder in at a time. But on these twin cylinders, you have to push two cylinders back at a time. Otherwise, you push one in and one will pop out. You push that one in and this one will pop out. Now, we might even have the problem where we push two in and this side go back. Now, if we do that, we'll have to undo our little bleeder valve here and let the fluid out. But first, let's try and see what happens. Now, if you're wondering how to do it, it's very easy. Grab your old pad, slip it in there, get a G-clamp. So I'm holding it there and there. And now we just do it up and push them back. There they go. So now you'll see these cylinders are flush in there. Can you see that? These ones are still sticking out of it. Now, the fluid at the moment is going back up this tube and into my front brake master cylinder up here. So you have to be careful, because if your master cylinder up there is full, it can't pump the fluid. So you have to check your little glass on the front there to make sure the oil is going in. So I've got plenty of space. So now we've got to do this side. So the same thing, put your pad in, just like that. Put it on. And do it up and we'll see. Hope you can see them going in. There we go. See there? So now our cylinders are both level. So we can put new brake pads in here now. So here's my new brake pads for the bike. So this brand is AHL and the number is 16080-130. So before we open the pack, let's check the size. Here's my old one. Okay, they're exactly the same size, so we know everything's okay. Open these up and make sure your hands are clean before you touch your pads. Okay, so we know our pads are the same size. And can you see now the wear between the two pads? Here's my old one, here's my new one. So not half, but getting close. So a good time to change them over. On the back of these pads, we've got a bit of metal here. So we've got to take this off and put it on our other brake pad. Now they're very easy, they're just clipped on. So just get something under like that. I'll clean it up first. Okay, there we go. You can see they can only go on one way. And they clip over there. There's that one. This one the same. Just like that. As you can see, it can only go on one way. And there we have it. There is our 2 new brake pads. So let's put it on the bike. Okay, here we go, putting it back together, which is just the exact opposite of pulling them apart. Now, I should explain, sometimes when you buy brake pads, because of the mold they have, there's a little edge, molding edge, yeah, you know, when they make them, little bits of metal here, and you can't get them in properly. I've seen it a couple of times. So if it doesn't slide in properly, just get your file out and run it down each edge to make it smooth, and then they'll go back in. We'll check this one. Perfect. The mechanic, when I was in an apprentice training, he would run the file over every brake pad edge before he put them in, just to make sure. But ours are fine. Little cover, which we put in, pointing up, putting one pin up here. There we go, come on, line it all up. In the hole, there we go. In there. Okay, both pins are in, you see them coming through. Okay, so now we're going to get our pin in. There's one pin in. Oh, I've got a hole there too. And there we go. Both clips are in, there and there, so just spin them around. Okay, and there is our brake pads in. Now, we know it's going to fit because this is as wide as it can possibly go, but before we slide it on, make sure you clean your disc. You got beautiful new brake pads. You don't want to get any grease or muck on them. Just make sure now your 2 brake pads are apart. Look at that, as easy as that, they slide over. Your dust cover back on, but everything's okay. But I'm going to do the other side now. Okay, so all we've got to do now, before you jump back on your bike and go for a ride, you've got to close the gap up between your new brake pads and the disc. Now, all you've got to do is pump your lever a few times. Here it comes now, and there we go. So now I've got pressure back in my line, and I've got front brakes again. Great. So thanks a lot. Always remember, drive like you know each other, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you. Ja. Thank you.
Thank you.